This video is the solution video for the challenge I set up in the end of the last one. If you missed that, go back and rewatch it. Make sure to complete the challenge, then you can watch this one where I show you how to get it done. Now in that challenge, I told you I wanted you to create two events, a new message event emitted by the server and listened to on the client, and a create message event emitted by the client and listened to by the server. We're going to get started inside of server.js by listening for that create message event. And this is going to happen down below. Now we have an old event listener from create email. You can remove that and we can call socket.on to listen to our brand new event create message. The create message event is going to require a function to call when the event actually happens. We're going to want to do something with the message data. For the moment, all you needed to do was use console.log to print it to the terminal so we can verify that everything worked as expected. We're going to get our message data. This is going to include a from property and a text property, and we're going to print it to the screen. You don't have to specify the exact message I used. I'm just going to say create message. And the second argument will be the data that was passed from the client to the server. Now that we have our listener in place, we can go ahead and emit this over inside of the client in index.js. Now currently we have an emit call right here. I'm going to go ahead and remove this emit call. We're going to call socket.emit, and we're going to go ahead and emit create message. We're going to emit create message with the necessary data. Remember, when you're emitting a custom event, the first argument is the event name and the second is the data. We're going to provide an object with two properties. From, who is it from? This one's from Andrew. And the actual text of the message. That could be anything like, yep, that works for me. This is going to be the event we emit. I'm going to save index.js, head over to the browser, and we should be able to refresh the app and see the data right here. And inside of the terminal, we have create message with the from property we specified and the text, yep, that works for me. Now we can also emit events right here from the developer tools to play around with socket.io, socket.emit, and we can emit any event we like, passing in some data. The event we're going to emit is create message, and the data is a from attribute. This one's from Jen, and a text attribute. Nope. When I send this off instantly in real time, the message shows up on the server. Right here, you can see it's from Jen. The text is nope. Everything is working as expected. Now that's the first event. The other one is the new message event, which is going to get emitted by the server and listened to by the client. To get started with this one, we'll add our event listener inside of index.js. We have the old event listener for new email. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And we'll call socket.on to listen to the new event, new message. New message is going to require a callback. For the moment, we'll be using console.log to print the message to the console, but later we'll be taking this message and we'll be adding it to the browser so a user can actually see it in the screen. Now we are going to get some data. We're going to get the message data. I'll create an argument called message for the moment, and we can go ahead and simply log it to the screen using console.log, printing the name of the event so it's easy to track in the terminal, and the actual data that was passed from server to client. Now the last thing we needed to do to complete this challenge was simply emit new message from the server, making sure it shows up in the client. Over inside of server.js, instead of emitting new email, we will call socket.emit, emitting our custom event new message. Now we are going to need some data. We're going to need that message data. We're going to provide that as the second argument. It'll be an object with a from property. From, it can be from whoever you like. I'm going to go with John. Next up, we're going to go ahead and provide the text property. This can be anything as well. See you then. And finally, we're going to provide that created at property. This is going to be generated by the server later, so a user can't spoof the time a message was created at, but for now, we'll just use some sort of random number like 123123. Now, as soon as a user connects to the server, we're going to be emitting that event. Over inside of the browser, I can go ahead and refresh things. And what do we see? We have our new message event showing up, and the data is exactly as we specified it in our server.js file. We have our created at timestamp, our from property, and our text property. In the future, we'll be literally taking this data and rendering it into the browser so it shows up and someone can read it and respond to it. But for now, we are done. We have our event listener on the server for create message and our event listener on the client for new message. That is it for this one. Since we are done, we will be making a quick commit. I'm going to shut down the server and run git status. We have quite a few changes here. We have our new JS file in the public JS folder, and we've also changed server.js and index.html. I'm going to run git add dot to add all of that to the next commit. Then I'll create a commit using git commit with the M flag. And a good message for this one is add new message and create message events. Excellent. With this in place, we can now push our code up to GitHub. There's no need to do anything with Heroku since we don't have anything visual just yet. We'll hold off on that for a bit later. That's it for this one. In the next video, we're going to wire up messages. So when tab 1 emits a message, it's visible by tab 2. This is going to bring us one step closer to actually communicating in real time between different browser tabs. Stay tuned. I will see you then.